care of that orphan baby. There's a lady there. She came down and she doesn't want to go back without eating something. So she stopped by and she took Muhammad with her, Halima as-Sa'diyah. And subhanallah, she saw something amazing. If I want to mention all narrations and what mentioned, you will be surprised. How even the way back to that valley, Bani Sa'd, was very quick and smooth and nice. How the area where she lived was green area where the grass grow, and how the sheep looking out. Like Allah brought blessing with that baby, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And people around him, they saw those type of blessing. They mentioned many stories, like how he was on those times in Bani Sa'd, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And she experienced one of the three incidents of Shaqqu Sadri. It happened, one of them was there. And she said many things are like really amazing about Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. As I said, I don't want to go into details as the stories, what happened in there. Like one of the stories is not authentic, but they said, okay, when she would start breastfeeding him with another baby, that's her baby, when she will give him the side of her that's not for him, he will refuse. He only will take from his side, the milk from his side, and leave the other for his brother. They mentioned some of those stories, but as I said, sometimes there's a benefit of sharing those stories, and sometimes there's not much benefit of that. We know the blessing of that baby, that's generally speaking, and that's enough for us. But something really important that I'd like to share. At that time, no one cares about Muhammad, that baby. And no one that's really was looking to get the honor to have Muhammad with him. You might be in one point, nobody cares about you. Nobody look at you. And that's not important as long as Allah is with you. And look what happened at the end. Everybody praising Muhammad. Everybody want to name his son Muhammad. And nobody was mentioning his name or cared about him. I'll look at that. Name number one in the whole globe. Name number one in UK. One of the famous 10 names in USA. That's Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If you go to Pakistan, I'm not exaggerating, you will easily count over 100 million Muhammad. You tell me how? Because they have combined name. Muhammad Al-Amin, Muhammad Ashiq, Muhammad, and they go by second name. But officially their name is Muhammad is the first name. And their father is Muhammad Fasaha, Muhammad Wajaha, Muhammad. So Muhammad comes with every names, like their names, their father names, grandfather names, all the way. They love Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and they name their children with that. It's not only one child. In our locality, in our back home, maybe they name one child Muhammad among all. But for them, almost everyone is Muhammad. When you go to the marketplace, you say Muhammad, everybody turn to you. Yeah. That's why you go in Saudi Arabia, you go to the shops when they work in there, Muhammad, how do they know his name? Because everyone is Muhammad, so all of their name is Muhammad. I have a friend in Halifax, his name Ibrahim. He started with selling hot dogs at University of Dalhousie, and he has a cart. And he wrote on his cart, Ibrahim, and beside his name, PhD. I said, Ibrahim, since when you had the PhD? No, I'm not saying PhD, the philosophy degree. No, no, no. I meant professional hot dog. So Ibrahim PhD. PhD, he's interesting guy. When the time for Salah arrive, he doesn't care how many one waiting for his hot dog. He will turn to the Qibla and he will pray. And they respect him. They wait for him until he pray. And he became famous. He doesn't have even one card. He's different ones, They like his honesty. They like his food. So Ibrahim, he will stop them and challenge them. He told them, do you know Abu Lahab? He said, no. Do you know Abdul Uzza? He said, no. Do you know, he was not naming for many people for them. Do you know that? No. Do you know Muhammad? He said, yes. I know Muhammad. I know of him. I know that a man is named Muhammad. He said, look at that. This is a miracle. Allah said about those people that I just named, Inna shani'aka huwal abtar. Indeed, your enemies will be cut off. And Allah said about Muhammad, وَرَفَعْنَا لَكَ ذِكْرَكَ. We raise your name up. وَرَفَعْنَا لَكَ ذِكْرَكَ. So look at that. That's in Quran. Read the Quran. This is a copy of the Quran. And he's always like starting with others with a beautiful conversation. Look at that. This is in the Quran. Allah said, about the enemies of the Prophet, they just named to you, they'll be cut off. Nobody will mention. Nobody carry their names. Nobody care about them. And about Muhammad, he's the most praised person. And Allah will raise his name up. You see, that's in the Quran. You love to read the Quran? This is a copy. So mashallah, he loves Islam. He came to Islam with love, and he understands that. So he want to pass Islam to others. So in a point that if nobody mention you or care about you, do not worry. As long as Allah is with you, and Allah knows you, and Allah loves you. So that little baby started with that, normal start as any other baby, with a blessed start in a great family, simple family. Unfortunately, that his mother never lasts for long. He went with his mother and a lady called Ayman to Medina to visit their uncles. And on the way back, she got sick and she died. She died in a place called Al-Abwa. That's between Mecca and Medina. And the Prophet ﷺ buried her with that lady with his hands. And he knew exactly where's the place. Because one day he asked Allah to visit the grave of his mother. And he asked him to make dua for her. So Allah gave him the permission to visit her, but not the permission to make dua for her. I shared this story one time with the lady. She came to Islam and she said, I feel sorry for my mother. I feel sorry for my mother. She was a kind lady. If get to know about this religion, I'm pretty sure she would accept it. She will go to hellfire. I said to her, this is the story of the mother of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. And the Prophet visited her and he cried a lot that day. And the Sahaba cried when they saw the Prophet crying, but he didn't make dua for her. But the judgment that we'll leave it for Allah. We should not judge, especially the people of Ahlul Fatra. Those people, they born and die before Islam. They might be exempted. They might be having their reason, their excuse, because nobody told them the right teaching. And Allah said it clearly in the Quran, وَمَا كُنَّا مُعَذِّبِينَ حَتَّى نَبْعَثَ رَسُولًا. We are not going to punish until we send messengers. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, رُسُلًا مُبَشِّرِينَ وَمُذِينَ لكي لا يكون لكي لا يكون للناس على الله حجة بعد الرسل. رسلا مبشرين ومنذرين لئلا يكون للناس لئلا يكون للناس على الله حجة بعد الرسل. So Allah sent those messengers to give a glad tidings and warning. So people, they have no excuses. But about those, they never received messengers. You know, those people that might be exempted, and there's a long story we can talk about that. So by this point, inshallah, so this is just some glimpse about the birth of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and we'll continue with him bi'idhnillah subhanahu wa ta'ala for next week. Yes, Muhammad, there's maybe time for one or two questions. Muhammad, go ahead. Yes. So how do you know the meaning of any word? First, the roots. Second, the structure of the word. So actually there are 7 points that you will understand exactly what the word means. There are many other points related to siyaq, for example, the context, what's before, what's after, many other things. Okay. So looking at the roots, Muhammad and Ahmad share exact rules. Hamada, which mean praise, and different from shakara or madaha. Shakara, he thank. When you thank as a return for something was given to you. But hamd not necessarily had to be with this. Madah, that praising the person for something has no choice about. Like تمدح جماله, talk about his beauty. This is madah. Yes? Not necessarily he deserve it. Maybe somebody will come to praise a king with madah, but maybe he does not deserve. But the word hamada in Arabic, no. For something, not necessarily for returning, because the person, not because he gave you something, no, but because he deserved that, and for something that not only that has by nature, no, but he intended to give, so and he deserved it. So anyway, that comes from praise. That's both of them. However, Muhammad has a structure different from Ahmad. Okay? Usually when you use the word Ahmad for comparison, you say it in English, yeah, what they call it, superiority? Superlative. Yes. So when you say like, this is good, and you compare between two, you said this is better. And when you really mentioned the top, you said this is the best. Okay? So and the best in comparison, yes? It's better in comparison. You mentioned the things by itself, so it's just good. But when you go to high level, it's better. And when you mentioned that the top of the line or something, you said, oh, this is the best. Okay. So when you say Ahmad, that's actually in comparison with others praising Allah, he is the most one praising him. You got it? And why is that? Because Bani Israel, they said, we are. Allah is telling them, no, not you, somebody else. And not only his adjective, his actions, no, his name is Ahmad. Yes. Yes. حج تفضل. نعم. صفة adjective. Yes. ليس اسما وإنما yeah. لا هي طيور صغيرة. طيور صغيرة سوداء غطت الأفق. No. But that something sent it as one of the soldiers of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Jundum min junudillah. You know, that's one of the jund min junudillah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yes. And we should not think of it, those miracles, we should not think of it in a normal way. So, okay, how come those stones does not hurt that bird but hurt, people? That's not your business. You should not think it in a normal way because this is not a normal situation. Why you measure it with our way of thinking? So this is beyond the thinking. إذا أمر خارق للعادة لا يقاس على العادة. تمام. تفضل. ها؟ Yes. So if I want to elaborate more from the point, those they have not get the message or get distorted message, the corrupted message. The message that they received, not the true message. As if they have not received the message. So not necessarily they were born before the birth of Rasulullah or before his message. And they might be, that same rules apply for somebody who lives in our time. Okay, think of a person was born in a cave and died in a cave without getting a chance to meet with anybody. Do you think Allah will question that person? Okay, what's going to happen with that? That person never received a messenger. And the Prophet ﷺ made a condition. He said, وَالَّذِي نَفْسُ مُحَمَّدٍ بِيَدِهِ لا يسمع بي أحد من هذه الأمة لا يهودي ولا نصراني ثم يموت ولم يؤمن بالذي أرسلت به إلا كان من أصحاب النار. So he said, by the one my soul in his hands, by Allah, if anyone that will hear about me, whether he's Christian or Jewish, and then die without believing me, he will be counted as a person of, as a people of hellfire. So the condition here that he has to hear about Sallam and hear about him in a true message, in the conveying message that was true for him. But if not, he get messed up message as the media present, or he never get the message, then he has excuse. But what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? On the day of judgment, listen to this. In the day of judgment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will put him into test. And he will ask him. And then his position will be determined according to his answer on that day. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give him the chance on that day, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will question him after that chance, and his determination will be according to that. Most likely, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will save those ones and not punish them, as generally speaking, as mentioned in the ayah, وَمَا كُنَّا مُعَذِّبِينَ حَتَّى نَبْعَثَ رَسُولًا. If you want more elaboration, like, more talk about this topic, we can actually address it more. It's a long topic, and it's important to clear any misconception related to that. I hope that will be clear. جزاكم الله خيرا. اللهم علمنا ما جهلنا وذكرنا ما نسينا وفقنا في الدين واجعلنا بعبادك الصالحين. اللهم نسألك العفو والعافية والمعافاة الدائمة في الدين والدنيا والآخرة. اللهم نسألك حبك وحب من يحبك وحب عمل يقربنا لحبه. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد بقدر حبك فيه، وزدنا يا مولانا حبا فيه. اللهم اجعلنا من أحبابك ولا تطردنا عن بابك، وهب لنا صحبة أوليائك واجعلنا معهم تحت لوائك، وباعد بيننا وبين أعدائك من رب العالمين. آمين. سبحانك اللهم بحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك.